Also, another thing which kind of points out why is Anakin so jerky and, like, murder happy in episode 2 is that Qui-Gon points out to Obi-Wan when Obi-Wan expresses his doubts about training Anakin. Qui-Gon says, the boy's future is undecided. He is not dangerous. We really needed to play that. Undecided. He's not dangerous. If we're viewing this for the first time, we don't know that Anakin Skywalker becomes Darth Vader. You need to make it unsure. You can still show a bit of a dark side, but just do it to everyone. Everyone has a dark side. Even the Jedi have a dark side. Maybe some of them, like, Yoda, because he's been doing this for hundreds of years, you don't ever see his dark side because he keeps it so well under control. But, Qui-Gon is considered questionable. Obi-Wan ultimately gets to see his master killed. He got angry at that. You could see it in his face. And that's actually something that I really liked about the scene, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Just do little things like that. Show there is a dark streak to Anakin. There's a dark streak to us all. And slowly build up to Anakin becoming evil. You just contradicted yourself with Qui-Gon saying he's undecided, he's not dangerous. You keep telling us these things, oh yeah, he's a good guy, oh yeah, he's a good guy, oh yeah, he's a good guy, and then we're just going to do some weird thing and make him evil because we can, because we make the money and we have the power. Must be nice. Although one good scene as they're departing for Naboo is Qui-Gon pulls Anakin aside and says, your focus determines your destiny, which actually ends up happening pretty much verbatim for the whole movie. It's practically prophecy because he becomes a horny, creepy, emo, slayer, murder happy guy, and guess what he becomes? Exactly that, with less body parts. But of course we have to get a weird exposition about midichlorians. So our heroes finally arrive amid protests from Palpatine, who is trying to keep Amidala safe. Right. We are greeted with some terrible writing and acting from Natalie Portman as she pleads to Boss Nass for their help in repelling the invaders. Also, you can't help but notice that the Gungans look terrible, and while I thoroughly enjoy Boss Nass's character, these kind of eyesores kind of take away from otherwise what's a pretty cool scene. And by this point, you begin to wonder what exactly was Sidious's plan for Naboo. I can't help but think that he did want things to succeed. He wanted the Trade Federation to win over somehow, because I don't think he took into consideration that the Gungans had an army, that he took into consideration of the two Jedi, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, interfering in affairs. In fact, he does say that this was an unexpected move from the Chancellor. So obviously he planned on getting somewhere with this invasion, but the ultimate goal remained the same. He got to solidify his power. But none of that really matters now, because now battle plans are being made and we're about to go into battle. Which, honestly, at the end, I like. I know a lot of people say there's way too much going on. I think it flows pretty well. However, there are a few things that go weird a little bit. First and foremost being, why are Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan bringing a kid into a battlefield? It seems pretty much shoehorned in. Oh, we have to do something to make Anakin be the hero, so we're just going to bring him along for basically a battle, full-scale battle that's going on. Besides, Anakin sucks at finding cover. How does R2 just happen to get pulled into a Naboo starfighter? And also, Anakin just happens to go into that starfighter. All these things are setting up so nicely so Anakin can just accidentally be the hero of the Battle of Naboo. Because he ends up starting up the starfighter, blasting some droidekas to help Padme and some Naboo soldiers, and then he goes on autopilot, which is strange and never been used before, to go attack the central droid ship that is controlling and powering all the droids on the planet of Naboo. We have good tension building between the Gungans and the oncoming droid army, but yet we have to have a stupid comment from a character, this time not from Jar Jar, that breaks the tension. But still, we have to have Jar Jar comedy when the mood needs to be serious. They were setting the mood so right, but it's like, okay, let's do some things that aren't serious. Let's do some things. Let's try to be funny when we don't really need to. It's a battle scene. Make it serious. Like the sight of the battle droids activating, advancing, and blasting away. That is all awesome. And then we're directly brought into the Duel of the Fates, blaring with Williams' magnificent soundtrack with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan going and fighting Darth Maul, that it may be my favorite lightsaber duel of the whole entire saga. It's awesome. The door opening to reveal Maul it was perfect. There was so much going in the end that is so good, which just makes all the little mistakes that they made all the more aggravating. It's just like, why? We don't need Jar Jar's stupidness. We don't need Anakin telling us what we can already observe. We don't need this weird scene of Anakin getting hit, which we've never seen anything like that in a Star Wars movie. Everyone either blows up, or they have engine failure, or they survive. That's just how it is. Ultimately, the Gungan droid fight is okay. Same thing with the Naboo starfighter fight. It's okay. There are good moments and there are bad, and that kind of equals it all out. It kind of dulls what could be a really awesome moment, but fortunately, the lightsaber duel and Padme's role, them trying to take the Viceroy, capture him, those work out pretty good. We don't have any weirdness. We don't have any stupidness. Let's just tell a straightforward story. There's the epic battle going on between Qui-Gon and Darth Maul. Darth Maul and Qui-Gon, they get separated. Anakin's even farther back with those weird force field things. Why they're there, I don't know, but who cares? The best thing, though, is seeing the rage on Obi-Wan's face after Qui-Gon gets killed by Darth Maul. That's really the only time that we get to see Obi-Wan be angry, and you can just totally tell with how he's fighting. Ewan McGregor does such a great job as Obi-Wan Kenobi. If there's one of the very few things that are absolutely excellent about the prequels, was definitely Ewan McGregor's performance as Obi-Wan Kenobi. He was fantastic. I couldn't see anyone else doing that. And the ending fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Maul is pretty awesome, except when Obi-Wan gets knocked over and Darth Maul is just slashing there, sending sparks. Why can't Maul use Force Push or just throw his lightsaber? It would be so easy to end it. It's one of those things where George Lucas so easily painted himself into a corner like he did with so many other things, that if there had just been a little more accountability to other people, or people be like, hey George, think about it this way, but no one wanted to offend the master, so we get weird things like this. We're just like, okay, this doesn't make sense. And also, we also have a contradiction, because in episode 3, Obi-Wan clearly states to Anakin, I have the high ground, it's over. Well, that may have been high ground in episode 3, but I tell you what, that was a stinking mountain in episode 1. Darth Maul just stands there like in amazement when Obi-Wan lifts himself up, uses the Force or whatever. Maybe he wasn't expecting it, but still it's weird. And then he just gets cut in half, and as some people have said, he just gets Boba Fetted. So yeah, kind of a weird way to end a pretty awesome lightsaber duel, but that's just kind of the Phantom Menace as a whole. We're given a burial scene, so to speak, a cremation scene, more like, for Qui-Gon Jinn. Obi-Wan is talking to Anakin saying, I will train him. We're given heavy-handed reference to, there was a Sith encounter, but who was it, a master or an apprentice? And then the camera immediately pans to Senator Palpatine. So just in case you didn't know already as a Star Wars fan, even all the new people could figure that, oh my gosh, he's Sidious. Wow. Of course, we have to be entitled to one more stupid Jar Jar joke. We're given a weird scene with that sparkly orb thing at the end, and we have to get one more nod with Anakin and Padme smiling at each other, thereby denoting the future romance that will, of course, happen, even though they're both 10 years removed right now. I know that was a bit rambling, but I kind of wanted to address everything. All in all, I still find episode 1 to be enjoyable. It is a movie that has lots of flaws, but I think what summarizes episode 1 best for me is a comment I once saw on YouTube, probably about a year or two ago, where the commenter was saying episode 1 felt like that was the episode that they at least tried. Episode 2 and episode 3 didn't feel that way. And even though I haven't seen episode 2 and I haven't seen episode 3 in a few years, and I'm about to review them, I kind of can't help but concur. Obviously, I'll come back and give my full feelings on the prequel trilogy, but right now, that's what I do feel with episode 1. They at least tried. They still used sets. They still used prosthetics. Not everything was CG. For the good moments, they were pretty good. The bad moments were, well, pretty bad. All in all, episode 1 is a average movie. It's decent. It's nothing remarkable. I totally understand why people are disappointed. I honestly don't believe that it's the worst of the series. It's not a terrible movie. I think it gets that bad rep mainly because of Jar Jar Binks and Jake Lloyd. You know, like I said, there are some serious flaws, but it's still enjoyable all in all. I think probably the most disappointing thing is that you see the potential that could have been there, and, well, unfortunately, it just wasn't. Anyways, that's my rambling review of Star Wars Episode 1. I hope to be a little more concise for the next one. If you have any comments, go ahead. Let me know. How did you like Episode 1? Is it your favorite out of the prequels? Do you think it's absolute garbage? Do you think I bring up no points? Go ahead, comment away, let me know. There's going to be a review of Episode 2 coming up shortly. I appreciate all your feedback. There's going to be quite a bit of Star Wars related media that's going to be coming out shortly. Also, I'm going to be seeing Star Wars Episode 7 for a second time, and I'm going to do my spoiler discussion video. I hope to do that sometime over this weekend. But anyways, I hope you all are having a great time so far in this new year, and remember, what we create matters.